Here's what we know about the bank robbery so far. The bank was robbed at 9 o'clock last night, and we have 3 suspects. The security camera recorded suspect number 1 at 9:05. He was running away from the scene of the crime with a large bag.
A large bag of stolen money.
We'll see. Suspect number 2 was hanging around the bank all week. She looked very suspicious and worried.
Worried about robbing the bank?
Cool down, Roberts. Maybe she was planning the heist, or maybe she was doing something innocent. We'll find out soon enough. Suspect number 3 is the bank's security guard. He was working at the time of the robbery.
Huh, more like he was robbing when he should have been working.
Let's not jump to conclusions. We need to find out where they were at the time of the robbery, who they were with, and what they were doing. One of them robbed the bank. I'm sure of it.
I think all of them did it.
How much coffee did you have this morning?
Mr. Johnson, where were you last night?
I was out with my wife. We had dinner at a restaurant at 6 o'clock. Then we saw a movie at the cinema.
Which restaurant did you eat at?
We went to La Pandaria, an Italian restaurant near our house. And why did you choose that restaurant? Well, we had never eaten there before. Earlier that day, we had been shopping nearby and we drove past it. My wife said that she had heard they make excellent pasta, so we decided to try it.
Which pasta did you try, punk?
Is that important?
Pasta type, my friend. Can make or break an alibi. Now, what did you order, and did it come with garlic bread?
Okay. I had the lasagna, and my wife ordered a dish she had never tried before. I don't know the name.
I asked about the garlic bread.
Yes, it came with garlic bread. You said you also went to the cinema. Which movie did you see? Actually, we had been discussing all week which movie to see. I wanted to see that new action movie sequel that had just come out, but my wife hadn't enjoyed the first one. She wanted to see a romantic comedy. In the end, we decided to watch the rom-com because we had watched an action movie a few days before. Officer, why did you bring me here?
You were caught on security camera running from the bank at 9:05 p.m. with a large bag. Can you explain that?
At 9:05? We were running to the car. I know because the movie ended at 8:55, and we had parked a few blocks away. We got soaked because it was raining when we came outside. I think it had been raining for a while, because the puddles on the ground were enormous. We didn't want to get too wet.
Ha! Classic getaway excuse. What about the bag?
I hadn't finished my lasagna. It was too big. The bag was takeaway from the restaurant.
That sounds like a saucy story.
Why were you hanging around outside the bank all day? You walked past at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. You were standing outside the door from 4 till 5, and you were looking in the window at 5:30.
I'm sorry. I worked at the bank until last Friday, when the manager fired me. I had been working there for almost 30 years when I lost my job. In fact, when I started working there, the manager hadn't even been born yet. I loved working at the bank.
So why were you there?
Was it for revenge? No. I was hoping to run into the manager to ask him for an explanation. I thought I was doing well in my job. The day before he fired me, he said I had been doing great work. I thought I might even get a raise, but I didn't even see him.
Sounds like you had a reason to want revenge. The bank was robbed at 9 o'clock last night, and you were standing across the street at that time. You were talking on the phone. Why were you there, and who were you talking to?
You were discussing the latest bank robbery techniques with your secret partner in crime, weren't you? No, I was calling the manager, but he didn't pick up the phone. I left a voice message because I hadn't seen him all day. I wanted a recommendation letter, not a criminal record.
But the bank had already closed. So, why were you there? Were you the lookout for the other robbers?
No! The manager works late often. I thought maybe he was working late that night, but he wasn't there. I left right after, I swear.
You were working the night shift at the bank last night. What happened? Well, I was doing a patrol through the offices at 9 o'clock when the bank vault was robbed. I heard a noise in the manager's office, so I went to take a look. I noticed that he had left his office unlocked, but there was no one there.
And when you came back?
The vault was empty. I couldn't believe it. I had only been gone for about 5 minutes. The robbers worked very fast.
Are you sure you weren't taking a nap? Maybe you were having a poorly timed coffee break.
No way. You can check the patrol logs. I was patrolling the same way I do every night. The security cameras outside the building were working fine, but the cameras inside stopped working at 8:55. Can you explain that?
Maybe you turned them off just in time for the robbery.
No. I don't know what happened with the cameras. They had been working just fine all week. I know, because I was in the security room before my patrol.
Yes, and they turned back on at 9:02. Someone shut them off on purpose. Maybe you missed something because you were tired. Or you were napping. How long had you been working at the time of the robbery?
That's rude. I always do my job well. I had only been working a few hours since I started at 6 o'clock. I wasn't tired. Am I free to go?
Did they suspect you at all?
No, they had no idea. They even believed the bag of money was my lasagna. Yeah, and that the security cameras had coincidentally stopped working right before the robbery. Ha!
Remember we were discussing the latest bank robbery techniques on the phone right before the cameras went down? They believed I was leaving a voice message for the manager.
The plan worked perfectly.
Correction. The plan was working perfectly. I had a sneaky suspicion you were all in on it.
Good instincts, Roberts. You're under arrest.